So you've lost the weight. Seriously, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment and you should be proud. But here's a fact most people overlook. Research has shown 80% of people regain their weight within a year, and nearly everyone is back to where they started after 3 years, with many ending up even bigger. So the real challenge isn't even just losing the weight, the hardest part is keeping it off. Don't worry though, today I'm going to share with you 6 powerful tips to make sure you keep your new body forever. Now the first tip is making sure you have some sort of plan of action for what you're going to do when the diet's done. What are you going to do with your nutrition? What are you going to do with your exercise? Make sure you have a plan because you can never just be done. Now the good news is you don't have to stay on super low calories. You don't have to just continue to crush yourself with lots of cardio. A big reason why many people give up and gain their weight back is because they just feel like, I can't live like this forever, but you don't have to. But the bad news is, and this is something not many people realize, is you're actually going to be more hungry when the diet's done than you were during the diet, for both physiological and psychological reasons. Physiologically speaking, when you lose a lot of weight, there's a lot of shifts to things like your hormones, your metabolism, and it can be so easy to overeat and undo all your hard work. Not only that, but your metabolism is suppressed from this dieting, and research has even shown, especially if you've lost weight in extreme measures, your metabolism will actually be slower than it would be predicted just through weight loss alone. So all these changes is your body just trying to get you to gain that weight back. So to make sure that doesn't happen, that leads me into step 2. What you want to do is go through a process here called reverse dieting. This is where you gradually increase your calories. A good pace for many people is to make your daily average calories go up by around 50 to 100 per week until you get them into a place where you're more satisfied with things. And what this does is it allows your metabolism to speed up while you increase your calories, while keeping you from gaining a bunch of weight if you're just to go straight to higher calories right off the bat. So hopefully when you lost weight, you were tracking, you already know where your calories are at. But even if you haven't been tracking, I would recommend it at least for these early stages until you get to a better place. And what you're going to do is just keep eating the same way you've been eating, see what it looks like. Now you have your average calories and you can just take it from there. And you want to stay diligent here to make sure you get your body back into a better place. Your hormones are recovered, your hunger has settled, because trust me, if you just try to eat intuitively when your body's fighting you and you're crazy hungry, your intuition is going to be to eat everything. And with your metabolism already slow and you're overeating, that weight gain can happen rapidly. So stay patient here and wait until all these things have settled and you're feeling better. And then if you want, you can start weaning off the tracking. But keep in mind, if you want to maintain best you can, knowing how much you're eating is a valuable tool to make sure that happens. The third tip to maintaining your weight long term is you got to make sure your diet is sustainable. This means allowing treats in moderation. You can't just live a life of banning everything that you love, especially as your calories get higher. This allows for more flexibility in your diet. You have room to go out and eat more and include some things that you like. And I'm not saying that food quality doesn't matter. I'm not saying just go out and eat nothing but donuts, but I am saying you can have things like donuts or pizza or ice cream or whatever else, fit it into your numbers, and this helps keep you from the all or nothing mentality, which is a big reason why many people gain the weight back afterwards. So by allowing yourself to include these things in combination with also keeping your protein up and eating plenty of nutrient dense foods, this is how you're going to be able to make sure you maintain long term and not just keep your weight off, but also be able to live your life. The fourth tip is you got to maintain an active lifestyle. Now you can back off some, I'm going to touch on that, but you can't just stop now that you've lost the weight. Keeping your step count up, making sure you're regularly exercising. These are all things that are going to significantly help you keep the weight off long term. Now, if you've been doing a lot of cardio during your dieting phase, you can absolutely taper it down. So just like reverse dieting, where you gradually increase your calories, with cardio, you can gradually decrease it and get it down to a more reasonable place, but you still should be doing some. If for no other reason, just the health benefits, I recommend at least 30 to 60 minutes of cardio, probably strength training 3 or 4 days per week. Keep it in mind, I'm just kind of talking in terms of what I think is kind of most optimal. But if you hate strength training and you love cardio, you can do more. I'm not saying only do 30 to 60 minutes. I'm saying that's the minimum. But whatever amount you can stick to in the long term, you're just remaining active, but not necessarily feeling like you have to do just tons of cardio to maintain your weight. The fifth tip, keep monitoring your weight and body composition. Now, I'm not saying get too caught up in the scale. I'm not saying put all your self-worth on it, but I am saying continual monitoring has been shown, even in research, to be one of the biggest factors for people who are able to keep weight off long term. Maybe you actually know you're not really staying on plan that well, but you turn a blind eye, you kind of want to live in denial, and all of a sudden you come back and you've gained 10, 20 pounds and don't even realize it. If you're continuing to monitor things, you'll keep that from happening. But that brings me to this sixth tip. Don't get too caught up in that scale number. And understand that weight maintenance is not an exact number that you just hit that weight and you stay that way forever. It's more like a range of weight. So maybe that's around like 10 pounds or so. You fluctuate in between that, and over the long haul, you're gonna have some times that are higher, sometimes that are lower. But what you don't want to do is every time you gain a few pounds, panic and try to diet it off again, because that just turns into this yo-yo dieting mindset that ends up running your metabolism to the ground because you're constantly dieting over and over again. Whereas if you've gone gone a long time, a couple years or whatever, and you haven't dieted, but now you're starting to creep up to that upper end of that range, now you're in a great spot metabolically. You can zap that weight off real quick, get in and out, and just kind of roughly stay within that range. What you don't want to do, and this is what most people do, is they take whatever their lowest weight was and make that the standard moving forward. If you do that, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. Don't forget how far you've come, and don't put so much pressure and self-worth on body weight. Now, with all that being said, there are some strategies I haven't talked about here to do everything you can to stay as steady as possible. So to find out what those strategies are, you check out this video next. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in that other video.